I spent a long time thinking about the best way to make this video. Normally a combo guide will show the inputs and then show the characters and percent ranges where it works, show some different DI follow-ups and they all happen to be tested on YouTube but we don't worry about it, and end it with a nice little infographic color coding the character select screen or something. So I fired up training mode to fish for the simplest base form of the combo and realized, how am I supposed to even start this? The core of the combo is IDJ up air, falling up air knee, but where do you get that first up air from? You could down throw, you could raptor boost, you could nair one, you can do short hop up air, fast fall into IDJ up air, but the positioning will change wildly depending on the setup that you use, your drift and rage, their percent and DI, what hitbox of up air you landed, and even if everything goes right, you still may end up with 1 or 2 frame gaps here and there. There are so many different moving parts. So in the end, I decided that the best way to teach this combo is to show you what parts you can control and when to abandon it for a backup plan. The big secret to mastering this combo is this little fast fall window between the 2 up airs. The sooner you're able to land after the second up air, the more frame advantage you have to start the knee. Hitting both fast fall windows lets you get to the ground as soon as possible, which sometimes is necessary to get the combo to be true. But unfortunately, sometimes the first fast fall will break the combo instead. Up air starts horizontally, and then moves upwards as the move goes on. If your fast fall puts you too far below the opponent, you'll miss the first couple frames of up air, and that can leave enough of a gap for them to escape. Also remember, aerials interrupt fast fall, and will slow you back down to your regular max fall speed. If you do need to fast fall during the first window before the second up air, then you need to do another fast fall after the second up air. It's important to time that fast fall during the hit lag of the second up air actually connecting. If you fast fall during the startup of your second up air, then you're probably going to be too low and miss those first active frames that we talked about, and your up air will whiff. The key to making this combo work is managing the opponent's height very carefully. If they go too high, you get nothing. That's why it's fairly effective when they start DIing out mid-combo, because that trades their height for distance, and we can generally make up the difference on the distance. If your first IDJ up air launches them up to the same height as the peak of your IDJ, abandon the knee and look for your backup strat. Remember to always keep an eye out for double jump rings. Like I mentioned earlier, even if you do everything right, you might still end up with 1 or 2 frame gaps where they could sneak in a jump. During those frames, not only do they gain a little height from the jump, they also avoid losing height just from gravity, and this can be enough to make or break the knee finisher, so you may be better off sending them off stage for an edge guard if you see those rings come out. So, to summarize, there are 2 separate fast fall windows before and after that second up air. Hit the second up air as low as you can without the combo dropping. And whatever your setup is, you never want to launch them higher than your IDJ height until it's time for the knee. I dug up some old examples from clips that I just had lying around. We're going to do a little deep dive into each of them to show how all these moving parts line up. First and foremost, the percent here was way too low. This only worked because they were mashing for their life. That said, because they're at a low percent, they're not going to get launched very high, so we can keep them comfortably within the height range that we want. I also want to point out that the second up air here, I hit my fast fall early, which let me shark their mash from below so that I would not get hit. But in the end, the percent again just way too low and the knee wasn't even true. This clip here with Pit is nearly the same as the Byleth one, but the starting percent is just a little bit higher. Again, you can see how the second fastfall kept me safe from their mash option. At lower percents like this, the 2 up airs are not going to be true, so you should expect them to press a button here. The good news is that the second up air into knee is pretty likely to be true when you fast fall early like this, because you land almost immediately, and it won't launch them very far away. In this case, I landed on the very next frame and even had time to kind of mess up my jump a little and still land a knee. I included this example mostly just as proof that you can react to the height check in real time. I could see after my first IDJ up air that we were basically tied in height, so I didn't bother going for the knee. I was aiming for the reverse up air into back air, but I flubbed the input, don't worry about it, this one is just a cautionary tale. This is a better example of the Robin clip. Again, I recognized that K. Rool was up at my height, maybe a little higher, so I made my adjustments and landed a solid backup plan. This is very doable in real time if you know what to look for. It's kinda nutty that a super heavy at 30 can end up too high, but I had a fair amount of rage and he held in on my Raptor boost. The height can add up quick, but you should always have time to react in the moment. This one is a little bit interesting. It really shows how much the execution checks all add up. First of all, I did have a lot of rage, and Falcon was only at 25, but he's a fast faller, so he stayed within the good height range even though he also held in on Raptor boost at first. I missed my IDJ here by a single frame, and that means that I gained some unnecessary height, and I'm going to have more unwanted airtime. It looks like I was a frame or two late on my first fastfall. I also started my second fastfall a little too early instead of timing it during hit lag. I still managed to hit him with the first active frame of up air, but I'm pretty sure that was only because he was mashing down air out of hit stun and extended his hurt box down into it, so I definitely got lucky here. He could have just jumped out. And right here at the end you can see that we traded because he was mashing his nair, which is frame 3, and he also could have just air dodged, which is frame 2 for him. So really, if I hadn't messed up the IDJ and that first fastfall, I could have saved a couple frames and secured the knee. This one is basically just an almost. I didn't have quite enough hit stun for any part of this to really work, but at least none of the gaps were big enough for him to get a hit out. This is partly because the rising IDJ up air hit the outer hitbox, which doesn't deal as much hit stun. He could always up B, it's Marth, but that's a risk that I had already accepted before I had even started this, so that's fine. In this example, I still did my second fastfall a little early before the second up air connected, but it's fine since I was still following his height pretty closely. So all in all, not quite enough percent, still plenty of opportunities for Marth to escape, but the height control was there, and it was still a mash check that killed off a grab at 26. And here is the last example. It's extremely similar to the last clip, down to the percent, so you can really see how much impact each little difference makes. The first major difference is that I do land the inner hit of my first up air to start the IDJ sequence. This was a little easier to land because I didn't have any rage. And again, I hit the second fastfall early, there's a little ongoing skill issue here, don't worry about it. This time, it does cause me to miss the first 2 frames of up air. He definitely could have done something here, but he was not mashing. Then I wasted a little time on the ground, I spent 5 frames dashing, but really I could have saved 2 or 3 frames here, no problem. And then you can see that Marth did get 1 frame to act before the knee, but again, that's just the time that I wasted on the ground. Basically, if I had timed the second fastfall just a little bit better and cleaned up that dash at the end, this would have been a genuine fast Luigi moment. Imagine killing off a grab at 26 in the middle of FD. And that's gonna do it for this video. This one was definitely a challenge to record footage for because of my hand problems, so I would appreciate if you drop a like and sub for your boy. I hope it helps you land a few more of these, and I will see you on the next one.